Any people on Zoom?
Hatnipper and Dr. Fisher.
Okay. Okay, it is 5:01 by the time here. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'd like to welcome everybody. This is our first public budget hearing, so we will really be just only discussing budget tonight. And we will get through this very quick. Before I turn this over to Michael Kent, our treasurer, I would like to just say and welcome Frank Isley officially. Tuesday was his first day here, and he will be with us as executive director, new executive director for the hospital districts.
Thank you very much, Mary Beth. Proud to serve and very grateful for the hospitality, warm welcome I've received. Thank you very much.
Before we do get started, could we do a pledge of allegiance too?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I will turn this over to our treasurer, Michael Kent.
Thank you. For the agenda, number 2, we're going to review the July 20th, 23 proposed fiscal year 23-24 budget. Starting with number 1, discuss percentage increase in millage rate over the rollback rate. On July 20th, the hospital district trustees adopted a proposed budget for fiscal year 23-24, which included a proposed millage rate increase of 10.73% when calculated as a percentage of the rollback rate. At that same meeting, the trustees chose to not increase this year's current ad valorem tax rate of 0.5110 mils. This proposed tax rate will provide an ad valorem tax revenue of $13,572,748. This is an increase in ad valorem tax revenue from the current year of $1,618,601. I'll point out to the trustees, and I doubt that you really dove down, but due to changes in the funding levels of 4 programs that were approved by this group at our meeting on August 16th, there was a very slight deviation in the proposed budget, which you see before you tonight. These changes did not alter the millage rate increase over the rolled back rate. It did not change the ad valorem tax rate or the tax revenue approved at that July 20th rate. And again, that was the PEACE program, and Treasure Coast Homeless Services actually asked for less, so we had to make those modifications that were on the program side. Number 2 on the agenda, discuss specific purposes for which the ad valorem tax revenues are being increased. I've got several bullet points here, and there are certainly others, but as the ad valorem tax rate is not being increased, the increase that we'll see in tax revenue is due, of course, to the assessed property tax values here in Indian River County, which increased over 12% this year. Also, the district is carrying forward approximately $9 million in cash. Our reserves and investments are increasing by about $1.2 million. There is an increase of $3,290,533 in program expenses proposed for next year, and an increase in administrative expenses of $69,500. Inflation, as for all the rest of the world, has had an impact on all of the organizations that the district funds, and of course on the administration of the district itself. Additionally, the district is adding 6 new organizations and 9 new programs to this year's proposed budget. And in responding to all of these needs, we are utilizing cash brought forward and the increase in the property tax values, excuse me, to hold our ad valorem millage rate level to next year. Excuse me. Been fighting something, but I'm much better. I've just got a tickle. Number 3, At this point, we would welcome any public comments from members of the community. I don't know if anybody's online or, okay. Ladies? No?
I am just curious about, oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, you need to state your name and what you're here for. Thank you.
Excuse me.
My name and what?
And what you here
Okay,
for. Thank
okay.
you.
My name is Julie Brady. I was curious about the hospital distribution. I have a special needs adult son. We've lived in Vero for 2.5 years. I've been a Florida resident for over 20. This is the first time I'm experiencing a difficult time finding a primary doctor for him here. All his specialists, I take him down to Martin County. Why am I taking him to Martin County when there's a hospital here receiving tax money and I'm not able to get him a primary? I can actually give you the doctors' names that are affiliated with Cleveland Clinic that said they're not taking any more patients. So for me, that is why I'm here. Obviously, it's a personal issue.
If you
Thank you.
could, we can get your name and the name of your son and some information.
Absolutely.
We can
Now-
help,
Okay, thank you.
okay? Thank you.
Thank you. The fourth bullet under number 2 is to make changes, if any, to specific items in the existing tentative budget. I guess I'm looking at any feedback from the trustees on that. I've heard nothing from anyone and anticipate there are none.
An observation I appreciate the cushion that we have in terms of the reserve account. Worst case scenario between the deficit that's built into it and if for some reason we don't sell the property
Exactly.
to the VNA, we're going to erode that by about 4.6 million, give or take. Yeah, but we still have a sizable cushion nevertheless.
And there are several variables in here that we didn't talk about also on the expense side. I mean, within the first few weeks of taking, well, it always was our building, the HSB building, we had water damage. And we know what's going on with the Gifford Clinic. There are some expenses out there that are kind of unknown to us. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right, Paul, and all of that.
And just vision casting for us, I'm long-term concerned just because we are living off the fat of the past, if you will, both in terms of selling the property and this, is I'm looking forward to a year where we're really going to focus on, hopefully, not that you all haven't or we haven't been strategic, but looking for those overlap areas, looking for ways where we can make our dollars spend better and get into some strategic thinking sooner rather than later with, filling the needs, primary care being one, of course. And so, you put a couple pieces together for me that I hadn't noticed in the details earlier today, and it's helpful. I feel much better about what we're doing here in terms of the cushion that we have.
On your point, coincidentally, next Monday afternoon, I believe it is, I've got a Children's Services Advisory Committee Needs Assessment meeting, and I've seen the agenda, and one of the items on that is what has often been talked about, I don't like necessarily the expression about everybody should find their own lane, because I never think it's as black and white as it should be. But there are like minds with other entities, so I think we're on the right track for all of that, Paul. I hope. Anything else? If there are no changes, then I'm going to move on to number 3 on the agenda. And that starts with us adopting the tentative millage rate, which is, as I noted, not increased. The ad valorem tax rate will be 0.5110. I need a motion to accept that millage rate.
I move. I'll second then.
Got a motion and a second. Is there any public comment? Or comment from the trustees? Hearing none, let's call for the question. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. Thanks, Bill. Number 2, we need to adopt the overall tentative budget. And in this instance, I'll need to ask for a motion to adopt the overall ad valorem budget, which is, as I'd said, $13,572,748. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
And a second? Any trustee discussion? Members of the public? Let's call the question. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
I was waiting for it, Bill. Thank you. Those both passed unanimously. Number 3, and it's our final agenda item on this matter, is for me to announce publicly the percentage by which the new proposed tentative millage rate is greater than the rolled back rate. I mentioned this before, but to state it again specifically, the proposed millage rate as a percentage of the rolled back rate is an increase of 10.73%. And with that, we've covered the 2 agenda items that
Okay.
fell to
Is
me.
there any other public comment? Okay, hearing none, we will adjourn. Our next meeting is on the 21st,
Chairman's meeting,
on
right?
the 20th, yes, but the 21st will be the last of the budget meetings first, and then we will have our regular Thursday.
Just so that, I'll be by Zoom, so we make sure we have a head count so that we can actually have the meeting and present, so. Okay.
That's the 21st. Our regular meeting, that's our regular meeting. So we will start, but instead of 4 o'clock, we'll start at the 5:01. We'll do the final budget, and then we will close that meeting, and then we will start the regular meeting. That's how it works, okay?
All right.
All right, so we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all.